Remember when we thought lockdown winter was awful? Well, how do you like Winter Wonderland by candlelight? Thanks for that electricity price explosion.
Auntie, what do you want?
To save us with a package holiday to the south. I've already sorted everything out. We're going to let the sun beat down on our asses. Do you think I need sunscreen with SPF 1000?
You better believe it.
Extreme heat. UN warns of uninhabitable regions. Indonesia is being increasingly hit by both floods and typhoons. But more importantly, is our favorite vacation spot, Bali, affected?
The world's climate is wrecked, and do you want to fly?
Yeah, only 10 euros per seat.
Did I just hear the word fly? You can't do that!
Who are those guys?
Shh.
Oh.
They're spectators. They see everything.
Maybe you're sharing too much.
That's not the point. Do you think I'm shivering for fun? Do you think I like cycling? No! Who likes to freeze their paws off while the snot runs from their nose into their scarf and their thighs are burning?
Your luggage rack isn't comfortable either.
Yeah, but we're not going to achieve our climate goals using a fat SUV with heated seating.
My neighbor just got one of those things. Heated seating. What about that vacation?
You know what? Just fly. I've had it. Good people are just screwed anyways. So why bother being considerate? Screw the bicycle license. Patio heater. And as for being a vegan, I couldn't care less.
Buddy, you do know that these CO2 spewers will kill you in enclosed spaces, yeah?
What?
Spook it out!
Spook.
Who are you?
We three are moral tormentors. Me, one of religion.
Me, philosophy. And I come from politics. Good day.
Why are you here?
Me. Yes? Do you really want to give up what you believe in? Well, not really, but I also don't want to be the only one who gives up everything while everyone else just doesn't give a damn about what's right.
Are you ready for a journey?
Actually, I'm ready for bed. And my hot dog here.
Come on, then we'll see if you can still bear to throw your morals overboard.
There may yet be a solution for you hidden within our history.
Let's go.
Where are we?
We're in history. Because since time immemorial, people have believed.
Yay, history. My absolute favorite subject. Anyways, I'm not religious.
We all believe in something. Otherwise, we wouldn't act the way we do. Because when people come together, they look for values and rules that they can agree on.
And with an agreement and a common set of values, life is just easier for society. Yeah, I agree, but then some people seem to be choosing the bad one. Otherwise, they wouldn't be behaving so fucking immorally, right?
Well, what do you believe is morally correct?
Well, doing what's good for everyone and not just thinking about yourself. Like that guy.
Me?
Mama makes the food and you have to obey.
Excuse me? It's the 21st century.
But don't you think he's also concerned about family values?
Yeah, right. But he's more of a terribly nice family type, and I'm more of a modern family type, you know? Family should be about love and support after all, not all of this, you cook and I decide. The way he talks, he doesn't respect his wife or his children.
Well, let's listen to what he has to say.
What? Oh, God, how am I supposed to feed this whole family on my own with this inflation? But I promised her we would make it work. And if she had to work too, then there would be no one left to watch the children. They'd become estranged, disrespectful, take drugs and blow up a school. Oh, God, how did my father manage it all?
Are you okay?
Yes, everything's fine. There, you see, he's also concerned with care, love, and respect. Basically, you share the same values. You just interpret them different.
If you try to think a little about your counterpart's intentions, then...
And my intention is a nicely tanned butt, without going broke.
So what?
your actions still harm the climate.
Exactly. Just like eating meat means that an animal had to die for your meal. Actions have consequences.
Yeah, and that's why I don't care about good intentions when I condemn an action.
But expecting everyone to act like you also assumes that everyone cares about exactly the same things.
What?
Come with me. Our bodies may be made up of atoms, but our minds, how we see, judge, and classify things, all depends on our value system. Values are like building blocks of identity from which we construct our personalities.
You mean the building blocks we get from our parents?
Not only.
Also from friends or school.
The internet or the media in general.
That's right! I became a vegan because of a documentary I read on animal suffering. And my boyfriend was already a vegetarian, so we thought we'd try it together.
But surely also because your parents gave you this building block.
Treat all living beings with respect.
But everyone receives different building blocks, has different experiences.
And watches different documentaries, so what?
And therefore has a different value system. And don't forget, these values can still be interpreted very differently. As in the case of the family man and you just have to accept that.
And what am I supposed to do with this info? Seriously, how does my acceptance or my understanding of meat eaters or SUV drivers solve the climate crisis?
It doesn't.
They should take responsibility.
Respect treatment of all living beings also means recognizing your counterpart as a thinking and feeling human being with moral values, right?
Yeah.
And so they are probably doing what they think is best, right? They might perceive an attack on their values as an attack on their very identity. Today I'm cooking the Christmas roast for the family. In the traditional way, according to Grandma's recipe. She would have been delighted.
You selfish polluter! I hope you enjoy your car and your dead animal.
What did you say about my grandmother, you hippie?
Boo-hoo, he doesn't even think about it.
Maybe attack isn't a particularly effective way to start a dialogue in general, especially when your points of view are so far apart.
And one guy alone isn't gonna make much of a difference for the entire climate, is he?
You're just saying that so you can fly to Bali.
I really wanna fly. Remember that stubborn father earlier? You have a lot more in common than you think.
What?
You also seem to believe that you're responsible for everything and everyone, but in some cases you are simply less important than you think.
I hate to repeat myself, but what?
Well, let's try listening for a change.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, because I did some research. Did you know that traffic is the third largest source of CO2 emissions in Germany?
Yeah, especially passenger traffic, cars and such. That's why I ride a bike. Are you even listening?
Yeah, but did you also know that road vehicles account for 18% of global CO2 emissions? And air traffic? Only 3%.
Come on. Everyone knows that flying is the most climate-damaging form of transportation. There, 7 times as many climate-damaging emissions as the same distance covered by coach. Look!
Sure, but I don't want to spend 80% of my vacation on a bus. But fine, let's look at the numbers.
Yeah.
3% of global CO2 emissions come from air travel.
Yeah, you just said that.
And more than 90% of that is caused by one group. Just one. The highest earning frequent flyers and private jet owners. To be precise, the richest 30% of the population.
Oh, really? Source?
A study by Leeds University. The richest 1% of the EU alone accounts for a whopping 40% of the global aviation emissions.
So?
And you're saying it's my job to give up my annual vacation flight to save the entire planet's climate? That's unfair and a mistake on a part of politicians who have failed to take action against inequality.
But isn't there an air traffic tax on every flight that's there to help finance the measures of the 2030 Climate Protection Program?
Yeah, but at the same time, kerosene is subsidized. That means we all make flying cheaper with our tax dollars. But it's the frequent flyers and the rich who benefit. And abolishing low-cost airlines doesn't affect the super rich who are actually having a major impact on the climate, but rather those who don't have a lot of money anyway.
Yeah, well, but short-haul flights are generally unnecessary. Besides, isn't that whataboutism?
Huh?
Those up there, the rich! If we had all said the same thing about animal products, there are so few of us we can't change anything, we wouldn't have such a wide range of vegan products in the supermarket.
Yes, that's correct. In 2020, 39% more meat alternative products were produced here in Germany alone.
Oh, now she suddenly appears.
Well, not because the government's been so great about supporting the movement. On the contrary, here, although vegan substitute products generate up to 90% fewer emissions and are therefore far more environmentally friendly, animal products such as meat, eggs, and milk are still heavily subsidized by taxpayer money. And the vegan alternatives aren't.
And then people get upset that vegan diets are supposedly more expensive.
Yeah.
The state would have the means to change this and also support farmers in phasing out animal production.
Well, according to the subsidy report, the federal government is investing 16.2 billion euros in environmentally and climate-friendly aid.
Yeah, and 65.4 billion in environmentally harmful subsidies, including the production of animal products, the auto industry, and in air travel.
But veganism alone isn't going to save the climate.
Not alone, but the example shows that we, even as small individuals, can change something on the market and in society through our decisions.
For example, my bathroom is plastic-free.
I buy exclusively secondhand.
And I don't take baths.
No, I mean, I take short showers to save water.
And we go to protests. And this is good, because you can all make a difference.
Yeah, but how much?
Huh?
The dilemma remains for everyone. Do I have to give up everything? If not, how much plastic is okay? How much meat? How much driving?
And how much flying? Without being judged, of course, by all of your friends.
Hey, you! One of your philosophy friends once said, only act according to the principles that you would also establish as universal law. All right, come on. Why don't we just ban blatantly immoral behavior? No more slaughter. Fat cars, banned. Plastic out of supermarkets and a fixed CO2 quota per capita. Why do we as individuals have to bear this responsibility, huh? Government, regulate it.
And who should we listen to? After all, not everyone wants to ban the same things.
But
A vibrant democracy requires a high tolerance for frustration, because everyone must have the individual freedom to choose their own values.
what if their values actively harm other beings?
Of course, there are limits here too, which we draw, for example, in the case of racism or discrimination. We have agreed on all of this in the basic law, majority rule, with simultaneous protection of minorities and balancing of interests.
Yeah, but when the rich with their jet-set lifestyle pollute the environment with kerosene, which we help pay for through taxes, but the extended family can no longer afford heating in winter, shouldn't politicians at least intervene then?
Bam! That one sure stings.
She's using Teflon. It's super effective.
We're powerless. She doesn't listen at all.
Well, that's not true. But in a country with so many different values and value systems, you sometimes have to accept that there are different views, as long as they remain within the legal framework.
Just like that?
Yes, not every problem can be solved. Not in a free democracy, and not by yourself as an individual.
See, that's what I'm saying. You can't and don't have to save the world single-handed.
So then, you're saying I shouldn't even try or what? Just give up on everything?
Not at all. Well, unless you realize, yup, what I did here is really stupid.
Like back when you thought that by breaking off all the Mercedes stars you would bring down the rich?
Yeah.
So there are better ways, but simply giving up and doing nothing would be fatal. Because every individual has influence in a democracy.
Really?
Yes, the real evil lies in folding your arms and doing nothing. In elections as well as everyday life.
Yeah. Think of my example with veganism and the change in the market.
Or the second-hand boom as a counter-movement to fast fashion. Yeah.
And that in turn sparks new debates that can bring about a change in thinking.
And if not? If everyone around me continues to eat meat, or otherwise pollute the environment and refuses to listen.
Then act according to your convictions and you will be at peace with yourself. That's all that you can control 100%.
Because at the end of the day, you have to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and forgive yourself for your actions when in doubt. Yeah, fine, but who's getting the vegan Christmas roast now?
What?
What? Well, isn't this supposed to be the Christmas story?
What are you talking about?
There were ghosts in here like Charles Dickens. I thought they were going to tell me what I'm doing wrong, what's right, and bam, we have the solution to my problems. But
The climate targets were not achieved again.
fat chance. And all three of them just went and vanished without a trace.
My guy, Christmas is a long way off. Are you tripping? I told you patio heaters in closed rooms are a no-no. If I hadn't turned that thing off immediately and aired out the room, you would be dead.
But then what's the whole moral of the story?
I don't know. You wanted to bite into your hot dog there and throw all your principles right out the window just because I picked out the coolest vacation ever for us. And to think I wanted to experience my first flight with you.
Wait, does that mean you've never flown?
Well, I don't have YouTube money for that stuff.
You know what? Here's what we'll do. You fly alone,
Alone?
and I'll take the train. How long could that take? Oh, seriously? Does it really have to be Bali?
Well, it's already been booked. Ta-da, surprise.
What? Then it was never up for debate?
Well, no one could have known you would make such a fuss.
Oh, and if you cancel mine and I book a more expensive one...
Boy, these are $9.99 tickets. The cancellation fee is more expensive than just flying. Or do you want to leave a seat empty and just book another one? That will be double the emissions.
Okay, fine. But only under 3 conditions. A maximum of 1 cheap flight per year, okay?
Yeah, that's okay. A climate protection group in the UK is actually calling for something similar.
Huh?
The first flight of the year is cheap, and each additional flight becomes more and more expensive to make frequent flyers pay.
Huh. Condition 2. We'll take the next vacation by train.
We'll see if you still want to go away with me after that. Okay, and what about condition 3?
You're not allowed to crush my hand out of fear on the plane, okay?
I can make you no guarantees. And what about your hot dog? You gonna eat it?
Nah, it doesn't feel right somehow.
Phew, I don't know if I could handle so much changing you all at once, you know. Come on, pack your stuff. It's vacation time.
Okay.
So do you think I look good in this mankini?
Take that off, dude.
Now here?
No.
You just said to take it off.
Come on, you just said to pack.
And once again, Bali is being hit by a severe typhoon. Air traffic has been suspended until further notice.
Not a word.
I won't.
How warm is it in Spain now?
12 degrees.
Well, it's still better than snow. Do you think the train is gonna have heated seating? What? Will they or won't they? Tell me.
Oh, man.